Yo, what's going on guys? It's gmeiners here, and in this video I wanted to go over a build that combines Monarque and Void Titans, which has some pretty crazy ad clear. Now that Monarque has intrinsic overload rounds, it's easily one of the best options for dealing with overload champs in end game content, and by using Void Titans we are going to be able to synergize some of our abilities with the poison and void damage that we're dealing with this bow. Controlled Demolition, which is an aspect for Titans, is going to allow any enemies that we make volatile spread this volatile effect to everything else nearby. So by using volatile rounds on Monarque and its blast radius from the poison explosion that we deal after firing fully charged arrows, everything will quickly become volatile and then chain explode. I also chose to pair this build with Armamentarium for double grenade charges. Our grenades are going to be giving us these volatile rounds for our weapons to use, so with this we can proc these much more frequently, and then when it comes to earning grenade energy back, we're going to be getting anywhere from 10% all the way up to 25% back per kill. We are on our way to 50k subs, so if you guys do like these builds and you want to see more like them, make sure to drop a like and sub down below. Only around 15% of you guys that actually watch these videos are subbed, so make sure to click that red button. And with that said, let's take a look at our Void subclass layout first. For our super, we are running Ward of Dawn. This has one of the shortest super cooldowns, so we're going to be able to use this a lot, and it's also going to be providing us with an overshield and then a 25% weapon buff, so this is going to be great for survivability and really good for damage as well. For our melee ability, I chose to personally run Shield Bash. This deals much more AoE damage compared to the Shield Throw, and this is also used to suppress enemies. That makes it great for Hive Guardians, and then for enemies that we do kill with the Shield Bash, we get an Overshield, which is 45 HP in total. And then for our last main ability, choose whatever grenade you can most consistently get kills with. That's going to be the main purpose of the grenade in this build. And for that reason, I personally think that Vortex and Scatter Nades are the two best options. I opted for Vortex because Scatter Nades tend to get me killed in harder content here and there, but choose whatever you like most. With that said, our first and most important aspect is going to be Controlled Demolition, so absolutely make sure you have this on. With this, hitting targets with either a void ability or a volatile explosion makes them volatile. As volatile does, dealing damage while this is applied to an enemy causes the enemy to explode. And then lastly, kills that we get from volatile explosions nearby gives us and allies health, and this health we get is going to be 90 HP. So just 2 volatile explosion kills means that anyone nearby is going to be healed almost to full health. And then most importantly, this is going to let us chain volatile to enemies. That means enemies that become volatile will automatically reapply this effect to themselves anytime they explode, and anything they are near when they explode as well. And then on top of that, we are highly likely to trigger mass volatile chain explosions. After this, I am running Bastion. The main thing that we're getting from this is going to be an overshield anytime we place down our barricade. This is also for 45 HP, just like a shield bash. However, this applies to our whole team, and while near the barricade, we're going to have it slowly regenerate and refresh the duration. If you guys don't want this and you would rather the extra fragment slot and bonuses from offensive bulwark, then you can switch to that aspect as well. With this setup, we are only going to be getting 3 fragments to work with. So first up is going to be Echo of Starvation. This is going to give us the ability to proc Devour, and all we need to do for this is grab an Orb of Power. With Devour, anytime we get a kill, we get full health and shields, and then on top of that, we get a percentage of grenade energy, which you can see on screen now, and this is going to range from 8% all the way up to 24%, depending on the enemy rank that we kill. After this is going to be Echo of Expulsion. This is one of the best fragments to run with Controlled Demolition, because with this, anytime we get an ability Final Blow, the enemy explodes, dealing damage to everything nearby. This should work with volatile effects from our abilities, which just increases the chain explosions and the damage that they deal. Lastly, we do have Echo of Instability. Now, anytime we get a grenade Final Blow, this gives our void weapons volatile rounds for 10 seconds. Volatile rounds work the exact same way as our abilities, and now anytime we land a shot with a void weapon, we're going to be applying volatile. The reason we have this is because we can't always rely on abilities to apply it, so this is a constant way to apply volatile. With Monarque, these volatile rounds become a bit overpowered. Firing arrows shortly after fully charging the bow causes them to deal poison damage, and then if you manage to hit a headshot with this poison, it explodes in a large AoE, affecting everything. So with volatile rounds, this is going to apply to everything nearby, and the poison should deal enough damage to trigger the volatile explosion. And then once that explosion goes off, anything that ends up living has volatile instantly reapplied. This poison damage also works against overload champions because Monarque has intrinsic overload rounds. However, only the poison tick is going to be applying overload, which is good and bad. The reason this is bad is because whenever we land a shot, if we don't apply the poison, then the overload won't become stunned. And then when we do land a shot, we do still need to wait for the poison to tick and stun, since the bow won't automatically do this. However, if you combine this with a regular overload bow mod, this initial hit will now stun, and the reason this is good is because the poison will keep applying overload to prevent the champ from healing afterwards. So we are going to get the best of both worlds, and then if we manage to have volatile proc as well, we can also deal bonus damage just by spamming bow shots and let the poison restun again. Armamentarian, on the other hand, which is our other exotic, is just going to give us 2 grenade charges, so we're going to be able to get volatile rounds much more often. And then for our mods, we are going to be running the following. First is going to be Elemental Ordnance to spawn in Elemental Wells that match our subclass on grenade kill. Elemental Charge is going to allow these Elemental Wells we grab to give us stacks of Charged with Light, which we can use later with other mods. Font of Might is going to give us a boost in damage to weapons that match our subclass type whenever we pick up an Elemental Well that also matches our subclass type. Since we are creating Void Wells with Elemental Ordnance, this gives a boost to all Void weapons. And then lastly, I have 1 copy of Firepower for 15% grenade energy back whenever we throw a grenade while charged with light. Controlled demolition is one of my personal favorite aspects. The chain detonations are just way too fun, and the healing is honestly kind of broken when it procs. I didn't want to make another Heart of Inmost Light build, but if you did want to try that out with this, I do have one that also uses Collective Obligation. The synergy in that build is definitely top tier, so I will have that linked below. And I do also stream a bunch over on Twitch, so if you're interested in seeing some low mans and some speedruns live or other PvE challenges, a link to that is also in the description, along with my Discord server, which has all of the dim links to my builds. Anyways, that's all for this video, guys. As always, have a good one. Peace.